I don't wanna grow up, don't wanna grow up. I don't wanna grow up, don't wanna grow up. I don't wanna grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. There's a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. Bikes to trains to video games, it's the biggest toy store there is. I don't wanna grow up, 'cause if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. I don't wanna grow up, don't wanna grow up. I wanna be a Toys R Us kid.
They wanted to hear our memories. They wanted us to kind of go down memory lane and talk about some of our purchases at Toys R Us as we bid farewell to the toy store that we all grew up with. A toy store that I think all of us here can say we've been to many times. We have stories. Yes, recent years may have not been the best, but overall, Toys R Us is a special place in my heart. I'm going to bring out the last thing I ever bought from Toys R Us. It was after they announced they were going out of business, and I just had to go buy something. So my wife and I went, and we were shopping around. The sales weren't that great. I mean, that's not necessarily why we were there, but I talked to the employees, and they were all, I mean, these people were, they liked working there. Like, they liked, you know, like, we make fun of Best Buy, right? And we have our memories, and there were good times at Best Buy, but these people actually liked being part of Toys R Us. And so it was definitely, like, depressing. It was sad, for sure.
Yeah.
But I noticed the Pikachu 2DS, new 2DS, don't want to get anybody confused.
XL, new 2DS XL.
Yep. Oh, sorry. There we go. And I realized it brought me back to one of my memories that I had with Toys R Us, and that was when I got my when I got my own first handheld. So like my parents had bought me an original Game Boy, but like the first time I went to go get my own handheld system was Toys R Us, and that was to go get the brand new Game Boy Advance. And I had to get that Glacier style Game Boy Advance. I rode my BMX bike. I don't know, 4 miles is probably where the closest Toys R Us was for me. So, and I remember, getting, man, what was the first game I bought? I don't remember the first game, but I bought the system. I remember getting home, and whatever game it was that I bought with it, booted it up. I was so excited, and then I threw it in the case that I bought. Well, the case that I bought had a carabiner on it that got tucked inside the case. I had this thing maybe 30 minutes, and I put a scratch right across the screen because of that carabiner. And that was the free case that Toys R Us gave me. And I was so bummed, so upset. And I remember riding my bike all the way back up there and telling them, what happened. And my parents weren't with me. This was just I literally took my piggy bank and broke it and gathered everything and went there. And I remember the lady taking my Game Boy, going and talking to what I would assume was the manager, and bringing me a new Game Boy Advance. And I was just even though I was a kid and maybe I didn't appreciate it as much as I do right the way I think about it now, I just was amazed because I thought for sure I was screwed. So that's my memory of Toys R Us. I bought my Dreamcast came from Toys R Us. So many X-Men figures came from Toys R Us. When you thought of toys, that's where you went. And so, my Jeffrey bucks that my grandma used to get me. And
man, what's going to happen to Jeffrey? He's not of a job.
Yeah.
He's getting sent to the glue factory.
It's super sad, but I am very glad to have the memories that I have with the toy store.
So, I remember getting the bike, and then my mom took my sister and I to Toys R Us the following weekend, and we had our piggy bank money, like you had mentioned, and you can get whatever you want with your piggy bank money. And I remember at the time I thought it was so cool. I'm looking back, I was like, man, that was kind of dumb. But I got those little beads that you would snap onto the spokes of your tire, so that way when you rode it was like click, 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 click. And I thought it was so cool. I'm gonna put those things on. I'm riding around the school making all this noise, sound like a rain stick. I just remember how excited I was to buy little beads to snap onto my tire.
It was the summer of 2001. It was the first day of summer vacation. I had saved up money for a long, long time, reading my Nintendo Power magazines, just getting excited for this new Game Boy Advance. Now, Grim, did you pre-order yours?
Yes.
Okay, I did not, because you had more forethought being 5 years older than me, so I was like 11 and maybe 12 or whatever. And my mom drove me. It felt like 5 or 6 different stores. We went to Kmart, we went to Best Buy, we went all these different stores. Every time going to one, I'm sorry, sold out. I'm sorry, sold out. I'm sorry, sold out. And I had like my $120 in my pocket or whatever I was gonna need. And we made it to Toys R Us. And you know, my mom's like, this is the last stop, like last place we're trying. We go in and they only had the purple one. I didn't care what color.
Right.
I love my technically indigo Game Boy Advance, and I bought it. I bought the matching purple Wormlight and the free case. I was so excited to get that free case. Nowhere else was giving out a free case.
Nope.
So that was like a bonus to me. I got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, which was actually a really nice version of the game. It's super playable, and I had a great time.
That's what the game was.
Yes.
That was so much fun.
And like, considering it was a downscaled version, like a whole new rebuild of at the time, what was like the best PS2 game. It was a top-down isometric view opposed to like third-person view. I mean, again, if you've never played, if you went back now and played Tony Hawk 2 on the Game Boy Advance, which is something I have recently done,
of course you have.
you would be like, this is horrible. How did anyone play this? But it was so far beyond what the Game Boy or the Game Boy Color could do. The thought about playing a fun version of Tony Hawk playable in a handheld was incredible. And I just remember going home and, you know, no backlight, so still sitting under the lamp, just playing it until I ran the batteries out, and found out that Wormlight really drains your batteries pretty bad. But I was always there was that part of me that was super thankful to Toys R Us just for having it and giving me the free case, because it was my first experience of buying my own video game system. I saved up my money and I bought it. You and I have the same memory, same game, same, you know, different Toys R Us location, but it was really special to me, and that Game Boy Advance has always been really special to me because of the first one I bought on my own.
I am sad because it was my toy store, you know, and like I'll never forget the jingle. Like I'll never, you know, like I don't want to grow up. Like I want to be a Toys R Us kid.
Up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
There's a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with.
From bikes to trains to video games, it's the greatest toy store there is. Gee whiz! I don't want to grow up, because maybe if I did, I could be a Toys R Us kid like all of these millennials that'll never be one because they're closed.
Wow.